I have a friend who's the caretaker of a mosque slash Islamic school in Tampa, Florida. And we talk over Zoom sometime. And he deals over there with a lot of community issues, local stuff like marriages, business disputes, sometimes family problems, etc. We were on a call recently and he told me he had to deal with 5 divorces in 1 week, a record for him. So of course I asked him during the call, was there any common denominator, common theme amongst all the divorces? And he says, his words not mine, they were all because of feminism. Upon hearing this, I said, boom, gotta make a video because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me 3 amazing daughters that may or may not want to get married one day. But if they do, I'm going to try everything in my power to help them be successful. And along those lines, I'm going to try to eradicate feministic ideas out of their system. That's why I titled this video, the top 5 reasons us Muslims should hate feminism. Did I get your attention? All right, let's get into it. Right off the bat, I want to preface 2 very important points so you're not confused by my title. Saying that we hate feminism does not mean we're against women's rights, such as equal pay. No. These are completely separate and important issues that Islam and every Muslim should agree with. But you might say, this doesn't make sense. Isn't feminism all about women's rights? Well, yes, that is a small piece of it, but feminism today, feminism in practical application, feminism in the streets, not in the classroom, is so much more. And B, Islam is not against women's rights. Actually, it's the opposite. Islam has a long and rich history of addressing women's rights in all its forms, way before the West tried to do it. And I said tried, yes I did. Why? Because as you see in this video, their attempt failed. Reason number 1, why we should hate feminism. Feminism teaches women to sexify themselves in public. Express yourself via your body. One of the famous slogans is, quote, women should embrace their sexuality as a way to take back your power, end quote. Through this mantra, through this idea, feminism teaches women that when you're in public, you should dress the part. Wear makeup, dress a certain way, certain tightness here, uncover certain parts of your body here. And by doing so, you're exercising your independence, you're strong, you're free, and you took back that power. And the best example of this is Beyonce at the 2014 VMA Awards. Here, she is standing proud and strong and half naked, according to Allah's definition of naked, not the Western definition of naked, of course. And the sign says feminist. Now, okay, you want to be strong? Fine. You want to stand for black women's rights? That's great. Especially in America, where black people are heavily discriminated against. That's a fact. But the question is, why dress like that? Why? Because that's what feminism teaches young girls, that it's okay to sexify yourself in public. The problem is, in public, that's where you have the potential to be exploited. It is in public where a stranger will look at you as a piece of meat or an object. And that's the point. This sexiness in public has turned women into objects, to be gawked at like a car or like a boat, not to be looked at as respected, strong, intellectual equals, which is ironic because the feminist movement wants women to be looked at as intellectual equals, as they should. But then in public, they advocate for something that goes against that. Anyway, I don't know about you, but my daughters, they ain't objects. Reason number 2, why we should hate feminism. Feminism has given us the unfortunate and disgusting modern day hookup culture. It started with being sexy in public, which led to my body, my choice, another one of their famous slogans, which eventually led to them embracing open promiscuity and fornication. As Muslims, this aspect of feminism should disturb us to our core, not only because it goes against the teachings of Islam 100%, but also because open zina in a society causes hundreds and hundreds of problems. I mean, literally, globally, there's so many problems. Just Google it, there's too many to count, which probably explains why it was haram to begin with. But in my opinion, the biggest thing this hookup culture has done is it has actually set back women's rights hundreds of years. Why? Because feminism has made it normal for men to simply use and dump women, which is terrible for women and men. And again, sadly ironic, because a woman's most valuable asset is not her body or her curves or even her mind. It's her love. And men used to have to literally climb a mountain just to get that woman's love. Think about it. Before feminism, a man used to have to earn the respect of the dad, the mom, the clan, the community, and of course the woman. And you have to prove and show to all of them that you're ready to earn that woman's love through honorable, respectful marriage. But feminism and its corrupt idea came and removed that mountain just like that. Reason number 3 why we should hate feminism. Feminism promotes the idea that it's okay to be a part-time mother. And what do I mean by part-time mother? Well, as the famous expression goes, math never lies. Let's look at the math of a part-time mother versus what I'm referring to as a full-time mother, and you'll see. Let's say the working mother wakes up the baby at 8 a.m. So between 8 and 9 a.m., she has to dress, feed, and drive baby to her mother's or her sister's or worse, daycare. And so that's a very hectic hour, no quality baby time there. Then, of course, mom's at work. Let's say the American average of 8 hours. Then from 4 to 5 p.m., she has to pick up the baby, drive home, and make or help with dinner. Then from 5 to 6 p.m., you have to eat dinner, help with the cleanup of dinner, dishes and stuff. And of course, give baby bath. So 2 more very hectic hours, no quality time yet. Then from 6 to 8 p.m., finally, some quality mother bonding time. But you do have to share this time with maybe dad or the other kids. So, and around 8-ish, baby, he does have to go to bed because babies need a lot of sleep. I know I've had 3 kids. Now, on the other side, you have the stay-at-home mother who has the same hour in the morning and will subtract an additional hour for baby's nap. But you see, the result is clear. The child is getting 9 hours of high-quality bonding and learning time with mother, which, quite frankly, is the best type of time for a baby. And now you see why I say math doesn't lie, thus part-time mother. Now let me preface, if you're a mother and you have to work like a single mother or you and your husband can't make ends meet without that second job, then I'm not talking to you. You are here. You're the outliers. And feminism isn't talking to you. What I'm referring to, my audience and feminism's audience is here. You're the overwhelming majority. Feminism is telling these people that it's okay for someone else to raise your kids. For example, let's say you're a working pharmacist. Great. And you have a baby. Double great. Well, feminism is telling you that after maternity leave, it's okay to go back to work. Why? Because your obligation to your degree or to your employer or to your personal development is more important than your obligation to your child. Or worse, some feminists would tell you that you have to go back to work because you don't want to become financially dependent on your husband. God forbid you give up that power, which is such a corrupting thought and in my opinion makes no sense. I know, for example, when my wife and I decided to have kids, she saw clearly how valuable being a full-time mother would be, so she left her job. And thus, she now depends on me to bring home I was going to say bacon, but let's just say bring home the shish kebab. And of course, in turn, I depend on her. And what's wrong with that? In other words, and here's the point, feminism indirectly attacks mothers and creates a culture of looking down and shaming stay-at-home mothers, which is crazy in my opinion. And as a Muslim, it should make you sick because Islam, as we know, elevates and praises motherhood. As the famous saying of our Prophet ﷺ goes, your mother, your mother, your mother, then your father. Reason number 4, why we should hate feminism. Feminism teaches young girls that you don't need a man. Now, before I address this topic, let me just say that I'm a man, and 100% I need a woman. I need a woman mentally. I need a woman physically. I need a woman to help bring structure and balance to my life. I need a woman to help raise my children. I mean, bottom line is I need a woman to help complete me, right? And alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped me find a wonderful woman that provides these things. And I'm proud to say I need her. And what's wrong with that? And why would I then turn around and tell my daughters that, by the way, you don't need a man? That's illogical. Like these famous feminist quotes. The smartest thing a woman can ever learn is to never need a man. Or this one. If you are not happy single, you won't be happy taken. Happiness comes from within, not from men. Some feminists even go a step further and have marked everything male as evil. And they teach young girls, either directly or indirectly, to have disdain for men and disdain for masculinity, which is terrible because male masculinity, it's a hard word to say by the way, is what makes men become maintainers, protectors, and providers. 3 extremely important male traits. And unfortunately, even women in marriages have been indirectly affected by this feminist idea. How? Well, if a woman adopts disdain for men, this will eventually show in her marriage. How do I know this? Because I run a gym and I have hundreds and hundreds of male members. And they do talk to coach all the time. They tell me. They say my wife is insensitive, my wife is unloving, my wife is ungiving, my wife is sometimes nasty, sometimes yells at me like I'm one of the kids. And quite frankly, all of this, in my opinion, is unnatural. In other words, feminism is teaching women to go against their nature. It's in a woman's nature to be soft, loving, caring, warm, sweet, motherly. And as a married man, I'm telling you, that's what men need. That's what men want, not disdain. And they wonder why the divorce rate is so high in this country. Quick side note, no doubt, some men are bad, and Muslims are no exception. But it's not because men are innately bad. It's because these men are neglecting Islam. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ already told us and taught us how to be successful husbands and wives. And that's what we need to teach our kids. We need to dive deeper into that, not feminism. Reason number 5, why we should hate feminism. I saved this reason for last because it's the most important reason. Namely, Muslims today are falling for feminism. For example, some of our youth are engaging in this unfortunate hookup culture, especially Muslim men. And nobody's talking about it. And this is wrong because we're willing to talk about a potential opiate crisis in our communities, but nobody's talking about the potential zina crisis. And this is a direct consequence of feminism. Or for example, more and more Muslim mothers are opting to be part-time mothers when they really don't have to. And likewise, some mothers are now telling their daughters, go ahead, go get a degree so you don't need a man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a degree or the financial gains that come out of the degree, but don't tell them or corrupt them you're doing this because you don't need a man. Or take, for example, this. These women are not models. These are real Muslim women in public, which is why I blurred their faces, of course. But as you can see, they obviously want to fulfill their obligation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is good, but the feminist pressure to be sexified in public has skewed their obligation. Or look at this new unfortunate slogan of Muslim women. Hijab, my right, my choice. Now, technically, the slogan is correct in the sense that yes, a woman has free will whether to obey Allah or not, but this is a feminist slogan they adopted. And more importantly, that's not the way Muslims talk. Had the shirt simply said, hijab, my choice to obey Allah or my choice to obey God, then I'm okay with it. But I tell you who wouldn't be okay with it, the feminists, that's for sure. And I could go on, but I think you see my point. Without a doubt, Muslims, unfortunately, are being affected by feminism. If you look up feminism in the dictionary, you get this really simple and vanilla definition. Quote, the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of equality of the sexes. So innocent sounding. No mention of all the ugly ideas that come with this statement. But feminism really is an ugly word, full of very anti-Islamic ideas. Ideas that do nothing but corrupt the relationship between husband and wife, corrupt the beautiful relationship between a mother and a young child, and really expose women to a life where men have the potential to exploit them both visually and physically. That's why I say Muslims don't need feminism. Actually, it's the opposite. They need us. Think about it. The Quran is the only book that can truly save women. To teach them that no, you're not an item. No, you're not a possession. No, your worth isn't tied to how sexy or promiscuous you can be. Who's going to teach this world that motherhood should not be neglected or worse, looked down upon? And most importantly, Quran reminds us that Islam already told humanity hundreds of years ago that men and women are equal before Allah. Remember that. All right, I designed this video to be short, concise, just to hopefully tickle your curiosity. But the truth is, this feminism topic requires much more depth and time, just so you can see how deep this rabbit hole goes. But lucky for us, some great Muslims have already done this in lecture format, so I've included their lectures in the description below. Please click on them so you can learn much more. This is Coach Danny, keeping it real. That's all I have for this topic. But if you want me to tackle a different topic, please let me know in the comments below. But for now, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm out.